So, one main thing that I took away from this class was just the importance of understanding where your money is coming from and where it's going. Just really recognizing that tracking that is a big deal and is really beneficial for helping you actually reach your financial goals, as well as letting you have confidence in your financial situation, just because you know where your money is. So that was something I took away from the class, is the importance of that. If I was giving someone 5 tips, I would say 1, track your spending. Just know where your money's going, and I found that I spent a little bit less just because I was actually forcing myself to write down when and where I spent money. So you might find that you have more money, but also it's just good to know where you're spending it. 2 would be set specific savings goals. If there's something you want, save for it, but don't just throw money aside for it willy-nilly, but just kind of make a plan for it. And I think you'll reach the goal faster, but also you won't have any guilt when you're spending that money because you know it was set aside for that purpose. So set specific savings goals. 3 would be consistent. It doesn't matter if you can't save a ton of money right now, but just a little bit over time makes a difference. So start the process, start the habit, and it'll serve you well throughout your life. So be consistent. 4, prepare for your taxes and other semi-regular expenses. So I'm self-employed, and so there's no money that comes out of my paycheck. And so just realizing throughout this process, I need to have a part of my budget that is putting money aside for the taxes that I know I'm going to have to pay. And same thing could be said for car repairs or oil changes or Christmas gifts. You know that expense is out there, so save for it in the months ahead of time so that when it arrives, you're not wait, I need money for this all of a sudden, because you know, ahead of time, plan for it. And then 5 would be pay off your debts quickly when possible. So I did the managing student debt option, and it talked a lot about how if you actually can pay a little bit more than the minimum payment, you can get out of debt a lot faster and spend less money total. Overall, you spend less. And that was cool to understand, just to encourage you to do more than just the minimum payment, because you'll have less stress from having all that debt out there, and you'll pay less money overall. So that would be something. If you have debts, pay them off quickly when possible. And then lastly, one thing about the budgeting stuff was the most difficult to manage. I already kind of had some general spending habits and boundaries on my spending, so sticking within my budget wasn't super hard, but I would say the part that was weird was just realizing that my budget can be flexible. So trying to find the balance between having a good plan and following the plan, but also recognizing that the plan's going to change a little bit month to month, and that's okay. My income's going to fluctuate a little, or my spending, I just need a little more here or less there, and just to be okay with some flexibility while still maintaining the basic boundaries. Figuring out when to say yes and when to say no was kind of an interesting thing to start learning, and I'm excited to keep practicing that in coming months. So it was fun having class with you all, and yeah, have a great finals week.